Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the April Design Review Board meeting. The purpose of the board is to review applications and certificates of appropriate for alterations, demolitions, relocations of Aiken's historic districts in an effort to help Aiken retain its character. We'll start in a minute by reviewing the minutes of the previous meeting, and afterwards we'll vote on these meetings. We will be calling applicants to the podium to speak. As applications come up in a few minutes, I'll ask that you come all the way to the podium and give your name and address before speaking. And I would also ask you to stay at the podium. If you want to point at a picture, there's a light laser up there you can use, and that way we can hear you and get your comments on the record. If a member of the public, not an applicant, wants to come up and speak, we will have a time limit on the board just to kind of keep the meeting moving along. But hopefully we can keep the comments respectful. Okay, let me get my agenda out here.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes from the March 4th.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Please excuse my interruption. I just need to bring attention to the board that there was a correction that needs to be made in the minutes. On the first page. It states that our special called work session took place in the room next door, room 315, instead of the council chambers. So if I have permission from this board, I'd like to make that edit.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
I'll include that in the motion.
Okay, so we have a motion to include
second.
the amendment.
Second.
Second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Unanimous. The motion carries. It's at the end, so I think we're okay there. Yes. Okay. It's all right. It takes a full team to keep me on track, guys. So now we have to vote to approve the minutes as amended. So do I have a motion? We already had a motion, right?
I said I'd add that to my motion,
Right.
Yeah.
but I can do it over again.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be procedurally. If there's an amendment, first there has to be a vote amending the minutes.
Oh.
There has to be a
and then
vote.
another vote.
Then
So
there
we
has to
missed
be
a
a
vote.
vote to approve the minutes
Oh.
as amended.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I move that we approve the amended minutes specifying the location of the meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Second. Okay. Thank you. All right. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Unanimous, so there are no nay votes. Thank you.
And
All
now,
right.
now I move we approve the minutes as amended.
Okay, a second? Okay. All those in favor?
Is that right?
You're fine. I think y'all just did that twice, but that's fine.
Okay. We'll get there together. That's right.
Hey, 2 votes on it is better than 1.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Daniel. Okay, so, Madam Secretary, would you introduce the first application?
Item A under new business, application number CERH25-042. Applicant Susan Hook is requesting approval to construct a barn and fencing at 240 Knox Avenue Southeast. Tax map parcel 121-13-04-002. The applicant is requesting approval to construct a shed row barn and install 3-board wood fencing at 240 Knox Avenue. The proposed 24-foot by 80-foot barn will be located on the right side of the property and will have 4 stalls and an office/tack room. It will have a tab shingled roof with an overhang and Dutch doors in Benjamin Moore's Monterey White. The barn will be painted to match the existing residence. The 52-inch tall fencing is proposed to be painted Lexington black. It is proposed to be installed around the perimeter of the property and across the lot to create 4 paddocks. The applicant submitted 2 possible elevations for the barn, but is proposing the elevation that includes only 1 cupola. The proposed windows are white 6/6 double-hung vinyl windows with grid between the glass. This property is located in the Historic Overlay District, specifically Historic District 1, and is zoned single-family stable. The single-family residence located on the parcel is listed as being constructed in 1990 according to the Aiken County Assessor's website. This property does not have an Aiken Historic Resource Survey card. As this is a new building construction and not an alteration to the existing structure, a designation category is not required for the application to be reviewed. On the September 7th, 2021 Design Review Board approved the construction of a barn at this location in application number CERH22-011. However, this barn was not constructed and the certificate of appropriateness expired on September 7th, 2023. The applicant is now requesting approval to construct the barn with some modifications. The previously approved barn was larger than the newly proposed barn, as it included 6 stalls and an office/tack room. And I believe Ms. Susan is here.
Yeah, please come forward, Ms. Hook, and give us your name and address for the record.
Yes, Susan Hook. My address or the property address do you want?
Property address, I
240
think is fine.
Knox Avenue.
Okay. What would you like to add to the introduction?
Really not much. I think we've made a few minor adjustments to this barn with the roof pitch to mimic what we have going on with the design of the home. The exterior paint is going to match the house. We've got just 4 small paddocks. We are sticking with the 3-board fencing, which you see at the Whitney Trust property around, and I think every other property owner around us has chain link. So we're just mimicking what's going on down at Whitney.
Okay.
Tab roof, we have a shingle roof on the house, but we're just going to go with a architectural roof on the barn.
Okay. Any comments from the board for Ms. Hook?
Just a question, technical question, regarding the gables. Is that's a shake material up there? Is that what that is?
Yes, I think we're going to put shingle material to pull from the roof of the house in the gable area.
Okay,
Hardy shingle.
all right. Not vinyl.
Other questions from board members? No. Okay, well then I'll ask you to sit down and we'll see if there's any public comment. Thank you. Anybody from the public want to speak in favor of this application? You come on up if you want to speak in favor. Okay. All right, anybody opposed? Okay. Hearing none, I'll ask the board if we have a motion.
I'll make a nomination or a application, whatever. In reference to certificate application CERH 25-042, I propose that we approve based on the fact that using the design review manual, specifically the area dealing with landscaping, features, and design, walls, and fences found in page 36, and the new building found on page 91.
Okay, do we have a second? All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion from the board? Well, I personally feel like this is going to make a welcome addition to the neighborhood. I like the fact that the owners have chosen to make the barn and the house tie together. I think this is really going to be a great project. So, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, well then I'll call for all approve the motion by raising your right hand. Okay, all opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Hook. All right, Madam Secretary, you want to introduce our next application?
Mr. Chairman, if I could interrupt, I'm going to recuse myself because of some previous involvement with this project.
Okay, and have you turned in a document to that effect? Okay, Secretary has the documentation. Thank you. Okay.
Items B and C under new business. tax map parcel 121-10-05-001. The applicants are requesting approval to demolish the existing single-family structure at 1128 Colleton Avenue Southeast and construct a new single-family home as indicated in the applications. The applicants have provided photographs depicting trees that fell on the home during Hurricane Helene and a structural assessment from an engineer to explain the request for demolition. Professional engineer Thomas Drake with Nandina Inc. provided the structural assessment of the existing residence. He noted deterioration due to water damage, cracks, settlements, and deterioration of supporting elements as being visible damage throughout the structure. He explained that invasive damage would occur if they attempted to fully assess the extent of work necessary to determine safety hazards and stabilize the structure. Based on these findings, he has recommended demolition. The applicants are also requesting approval to construct a new single-family home. The dwelling is proposed to be located on the corner of the lot near Colleton Avenue and Beaufort Street, and it is the first of 4 homes the applicants will bring before the DRB on this property. The dwelling is proposed to be 2 stories with 9-inch wood lap siding, architectural style shingled roof, and a 2-story porch on the front facade with wrought iron railings. The proposed windows will be 4/4 double-hung metal-clad wood windows with simulated divided lights and an 8-foot window head height. The brick crawl space is approximately 36 inches, and the proposed drives are pea gravel with a border. Additionally, new fencing is proposed to surround the dwelling. The proposed fencing will have 36-inch tall metal wrought iron sections with brick pillars spaced 10 feet apart. This property is located in the Old Aiken Overlay District and is zoned multifamily low density. The single-family residence currently located on the parcel is listed as being constructed in 1903 according to the Aiken County Assessor's website. The Aiken Historic Resource Survey card lists the construction date as circa 1905. The new construction application was reviewed at the February 4th, 2025 DRB work session, as is compliant by DRB bylaws, section 5.C.7. While the demolition request and application number CERD25-001049 and the proposed new construction project request and application number CERD25-001034 will require separate motions, they may be permitted to be reviewed together in one public hearing because they are all part of the same project at 1128 Colleton Avenue Southeast. And I believe our applicants are here tonight.
Okay, who wants to address the board? Please give your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Grant Cole, and I reside at 616 Park Avenue here in Aiken.
Okay. Mr. Cole, let's take this kind of in 2 parts, if you would. Can you talk about the demolition a little bit with us? Why you decided that demolition? I mean, we have a staff report, but I'd like to hear it in your own words.
Unfortunately, the home suffered major damage in the hurricane. The largest trees I think I've seen in my life, I haven't been out to California and seen sequoias, but 3 large trees fell on this home from different directions and pretty much, unfortunately, demolished it. It took the front porches off of the home. It collapsed the roof. And actually, according to one of our engineers, the home has actually shifted off of the foundation. Of course, since then, it's experienced a great deal of water damage, and it's just not salvageable.
Okay. All right. Any questions for Mr. Cole about the demolition? Well, I certainly think it would be really hard to salvage what's left of the house, so I understand your concerns on that. If
We removed all of the trees off of the home, and the scenario just got worse.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree with you.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, then let's move on to the discuss the new home.
Okay.
What can you tell us about this project in addition to the introduction?
Well, what we propose to do is build one home on the corner of the property, and their highest expectations moving forward over the next year or so is to build 3 additional homes that front on Colleton that are like-minded, if you will. These homes will not be builder's grade. They will be luxury homes with nice fittings. They will fit into the community like they have always been there, except for they're new. It would, in our opinion, it would encourage more growth in the community. Now, we bought a large parcel there. We have a proposed subdividing plat now sitting with the Planning Commission. I think there's something regarding a setback on Orangeburg that has to be remedied. But as you can see by the picture, the back two parcels, Parcel A and Parcel B, we have sold those to investors, and that will fund our project on Parcel C, which fronts on Colleton.
Okay.
Regarding parking, there was a question from the public regarding parking for the homes we're proposing, and it doesn't depict it on the site plan, but in the back of the homes, which is at the top of the page, you can see indentation of gates that are there. Between the gates and the actual dwelling, there's going to be a 30-foot drive that services all four of the homes, and it would, of course, be a very secure scenario for everyone, and you wouldn't even be able to see garages or cars from the street, which we think will be quite complimentary to the area.
And what do you see this gate, how it's going to be designed? It looks
I
like it's
believe
going to have some brick columns maybe?
Yes, thank you for asking that. The fence, I believe we've got some images somewhere along. The fencing will be done in wrought iron to match the wrought iron railings that complement the home. Brick columns, wrought iron fencing, and the gates will be made of wrought iron, and of course they'll be electronic.
Okay. All right. I can't think of any other questions. I'll ask the board if any of our board members have questions for Mr. Cole. No.
Just one. You indicated that the, I guess Rebecca read it in there, that the driveways are going to be pea gravel with borders.
Yes, won't be concrete or asphalt. It'll be
And-
pea gravel and
Yeah.
and be curbing in there and for absorption.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know the homes they'll look like they're all cousins, but no two homes will be alike. So uniqueness.
Right. Any guttering? Gutters on the houses?
Yes, copper
Okay.
guttering.
What size?
I don't have the answer to that question. I'd shoot from the hip at about 6-inch guttering.
Okay.
It shows them on both sides on the,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there they are.
Yeah, 6-inch round gutter.
The fencing that's depicted on this picture, of course, the privacy panels they won't exist. It'll be all wrought iron, so you know breeze and the landscaping can be viewed rather than a privacy fence.
Okay. Any other comments for Mr. Cole? Questions? Okay, Mr. Cole, if you'd have a seat, we are going to take some public comment.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask if any members of the public would like to speak in favor of this application. Please come forward. State your name and address for the record.
Will Rogers. My home address or
Home address is fine.
627 Magnolia. I guess what I wanted to say is, Rebecca, could you put my drawing of the front and the right side so they can get an idea for what the fencing is going to look like, because it's nowhere near that high. It was a pencil drawing. So the columns will be 5 foot. The fencing will be 4 feet. And then the plan was to plant ligustrum along the fence line on the sides and in the front. And then the driveway would be where the gate is. So you wouldn't visibly be able to see the cars from the street. And the coloring on the house too, we've decided just to paint it pure white, because of the size of the facade up top. That way it's better incorporated into the whole house. That's really all I have to say. I just wanted
Okay.
to make sure y'all knew the fencing wasn't.
Well, thank you for pointing that out. Okay. Anyone else from the public in favor or against? Against this time. I said in favor. Anyone against this application want to speak? Please come forward.
Linda Johnson, 515 Parkside Drive. This is a beautiful house, no question. They've put a lot of effort into this, but I have some concerns. First, the immediate neighborhood has smaller houses in general. They're shown in the packet. This is much larger and I guess more imposing than those. It also, people have described it as a New Orleans style, and with all due respect, this isn't New Orleans. We don't see stacked porches like are shown here. First floor porches, absolutely. And sometimes, a place to sit above that porch, but not fully stacked porches. We don't see very large pediments like that are covering up the gable end. Again, it's a beautiful house, but it doesn't seem to really meet the guidelines in fitting into the neighborhood. I would hope that maybe there could be some adjustments to bring it down to something. I know that the owners would like to have this anchor, that end of Colleton. That's a great plan. But having the house as it is, having 3 more that were of some kind of similar nature would really change the character of that neighborhood. Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Chairman, can I have permission to speak, sir?
Yes, please.
I think the plans of this house is a great house. Considering that the district is RML, from the outside, you wouldn't know if it's a duplex or a single family home, so that wouldn't concern me. I think that the gentleman have had a lot of time to think about it, and I think that the way the house is designed, it has been well thought out. So with that stated, considering that the district, considering where it's at, RML, residential, multi-family, low density, I think it's fitting for the zoning.
Thank you.
Quite welcome, Chairman.
Any other comments from the board at this time? Okay. I'll ask one more call from the public. Anyone else want to speak? Yes, sir. Yep. Okay.
So also, I just want to mention that
Your name one more
very
time.
imposing in this picture.
Yeah.
But the island on Colleton in the front and on Buford in the side, there are huge trees. You could barely even see the houses across the street if you were sitting in this house, so, which means they could barely even see this house. And we plan on doing heavy vegetation. And like I say, with the first one, we're going to paint the whole thing in white. And we'd be willing to consider, should we build the additional 3 houses, doing something to bring it down a little bit. Maybe not having maybe we don't do a porch on the second level, so that it fits more with what's across the street.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, thank you. I was purposely trying to find pictures of the trees because that picture by itself kind of does jump at you, and I appreciate your candor with that. But I could not find that Exhibit B, but I looked. Maybe it does look imposing. The pictures where for the demolition you can see the big trees along Colleton, and I appreciate. Right, and I think that will tone it down considerably. So I appreciate it. I do think it jumps out as that second story pillar. I just don't see a lot in any area downtown, really. Two-story, that second porch, I don't see any in the vicinity around anywhere. As I drove around trying to go, okay, find it or not find it. But that's my only concern. it doesn't look like the Aiken part. I'm not saying it can't be different, but it just is so stylized that I'm a little concerned. I love your commitment to it. I love that you're interested in doing it in 4 of them. I love the thought that you've had about it and the whole idea about the driveways and the open gates. But I'm a little concerned with the pillars and the. I know, and you have this incredible opportunity, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. That's kind of what I'm saying. I just especially from that picture, just is a little sharp. But I'm not saying I'm voting what I'm doing, but I'm just. Right.
Chairman.
Comment?
Yeah, permission to speak, Mr. Chairman.
Please.
For the record, the porch does not concern me. I'm in support of the porch. I like it. It's different, but I think it fits into the district, and I just want to verbally say that for the record.
Any other comments by the board? Okay. All right, I think we've exhausted all the comments, so I will ask if a board member has a motion related to this application. Yeah, that's right. And so first will be the demolition. I need a recommendation on that, a motion on the demolition.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion on the demolition. Certificate application number CERD 25-001034. I would move that we approve the demolition of the damaged structure because of it not being cost prohibitive to have it reworked. And of course, we're not supposed to think about what's replacing it, but I think it needs to be torn down.
I second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. We've got a motion and a second on the demolition. Any conversation or comments about?
Yeah, I just want to make one comment. We have an engineering report in here that substantiates everything that the applicant has said, and the fact that it was off the foundation, and as they like to say, it was racked because it got hit from 2 different directions. That there's really not it doesn't stand as something that could be rehabilitated or remodeled. So I think this is a good motion.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, and I agree, the trees did the final blow for the house. Whatever issues were there got taken care of.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay. Well, then I'll call for a vote on the motion. All those in favor of approving the demolition, please raise your right hand. Any opposed? I see none, so the motion carries unanimously. And I think we can go ahead and move right into the second application, which is approval of the single-family home. Anybody want to make a motion?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Can you allow me to make a motion, sir?
Please.
On application number CERD 25-001049, I move that the board finds that the proposed project at 1128 Carlton Avenue Southeast, text parcel number 121-10-05-001, is in harmony with our site design from our old Aiken design review manual, and this can be found exhibit 2.4 under setbacks and placements, page 25. This can also continuation with page 27. Also, I would like to present in our packet exhibit K, which discusses new buildings and colors. And that can be found on 5.2.2, starting on page 111. Details and materials on the previous page, 110, and so on and so on. That's my motion, sir.
Okay. Any second?
Yeah, I'll second the motion, and I agree.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? Okay, well, personally, I feel like you guys have done a really good job of documenting your vision here. It's a very complete application, and I like the fact you've included all the landscaping and fences and everything, so thank you for that. So without any further comments, I would ask that if all those in favor of the application to approve the single-family home, please raise your right hand. Okay, all opposed? Okay, let the record show that we had 1, 2, 3, 4 in favor and 1 opposed. Thank you all. Okay, I think that is it for this application. So, Madam Secretary, if you would introduce the next application.
Item D under new business is an executive session held on matters allowed by the South Carolina Code Section 30-4-70A2 of the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act. So if the board would like to go into an executive session, we will need a motion.
Okay. Okay. So, do I have a motion to move to executive session to discuss matters allowed by South Carolina Code?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. So we will move to executive session. Thank you all for attending. If you want to wait around, we'll be back. Do I have a motion to come out of executive session? Barbara, do I have a second? All right. Do we have to vote? Okay. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous.
All right, Mr. Chair. During executive session, the board received a legal update related to process and procedure. No votes were taken and no action was taken.
Thank you. All right, and thank you for the staff that stayed over. Sorry. Okay, we're adjourned. Oh, we have to make a motion to adjourn. That's what you're here for. Any motion to adjourn?
I move.
Second?
Turn.
I second that motion.
All in favor? All right, we're out.